The book of Job stands as a pillar within the Bible's wisdom literature. It grapples with profound questions of suffering, justice, and the nature of God. Unlike Proverbs, where righteousness guarantees blessing, Job delves into the perplexing reality of human experience. Ecclesiastes echoes in the background of Job's anguished cries. Yet Job offers more than despair. It points us towards the unwavering wisdom and goodness of God. Job's story does not shy away from suffering. It meets us in our pain. The narrative begins with a glimpse into the heavenly court. Satan challenges God's assertion of Job's righteousness. Thus, Job becomes an unwitting participant in a cosmic drama. Job's world collapses as he loses his wealth, children, and health. Afflicted with sores, he sits among the ashes. Yet Job's initial response is one of profound faith. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In the face of loss, Job clings to his integrity and belief in God's goodness. The arrival of Job's friends marks a turning point in the narrative. They come intending to comfort him, but their words become a source of further pain. Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar argue that suffering is a consequence of sin. They engage Job in dialogues, presenting their arguments with certainty. They reason Job must have sinned to deserve such punishment. Job vehemently defends his innocence. He knows he has not strayed from God's path. Their accusations push Job to question his faith. He rails against the injustice of his situation. He curses the day he was born, longing for death as a release. Job's cries of anguish resonate through the ages. His lamentations are a form of prayer. He challenges God, demanding answers. This raw honesty is at the heart of Job's story. It reminds us that faith is about wrestling with doubt and seeking truth. The dialogues between Job and his friends highlight a common human response to suffering, the need to find meaning, to assign blame. Their words, though well-intentioned, ultimately fall short. They offer simplistic answers to complex questions, failing to grasp the depths of Job's pain or the mystery of God's ways. Their insistence on a direct correlation between sin and suffering reveals a limited understanding of God's justice and the complexities of the human experience. Job's friends represent a perspective that many still hold today. We may be tempted to judge others in their suffering, to assume that their misfortune is a consequence of their actions. Yet, Job's story challenges us to resist such simplistic judgments. It reminds us that suffering is a universal human experience, one that transcends our limited understanding of cause and effect. It calls us to approach those who suffer with empathy, compassion, and humility, recognizing that our words, however well-intentioned, may not always offer comfort or healing. Section 4. A glimpse of the divine. The climax of the story comes with the dramatic appearance of God. Speaking from a whirlwind, God does not directly answer Job's questions or offer explanations for his suffering. Instead, God confronts Job with the vastness of creation, the intricate workings of the natural world. God describes creatures of immense power and beauty, phenomena beyond human comprehension. The sheer scope of God's creation dwarfs Job's understanding, revealing the limitations of his human perspective. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?" God asks Job. This rhetorical question is not meant to shame Job, but to awaken him to a profound truth. God's ways are higher than our ways, God's thoughts higher than our thoughts. We are but finite beings attempting to grasp an infinite God. Job's suffering, though real and agonizing, is but a small thread in the vast tapestry of creation, a tapestry woven by a God whose wisdom and purposes extend far beyond our limited understanding. Section 5. The Triumph of Faith. Faced with the overwhelming majesty and mystery of God, Job responds with humility and repentance. "I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me which I did not know," he confesses. Job's repentance is not a confession of guilt, but an acknowledgement of his limited perspective. He recognizes that his suffering, though real and painful, does not negate God's goodness or call into question God's justice. In the end, God restores Job's fortunes, blessing him with a new family and material wealth. However, the true restoration lies in Job's renewed faith. He emerges from the crucible of suffering with a deeper understanding of God's character and a profound trust in God's ultimate goodness. The book of Job does not offer easy answers to the problem of suffering. It does not explain why bad things happen to good people. Instead, it offers something far more profound, an invitation to trust in God's wisdom and goodness, even when we cannot understand his ways.